Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Let me check the sound. Is the sound all right? And video and everything? Hello, hello. I sort of got a little late on my start here, so let's see what we got. Here we got. Where's the chat? Hello, chat. Huh. Um. Here we go. Okay. Now we got it. I don't know. Something, my little thing over to the side that showed me what you're saying. Hi, Geezer and the Rancher and Daniel and Neferon and Andre. How you guys doing? Um, we got a lot to talk about today. So let me get started with a couple announcements, and maybe I'll make it at the end too when everyone wakes up and realizes that, oh, hey, hi, Lease Time, how you doing? Oh, from Hamburg. Always good to hear from Hamburg. Um, okay, the announcements. First of all, the July 5th, which is, what's today, the 3rd, Monday, okay, is the last day that watch companies can enter their watches in the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève, the 2021 version of it. Okay. So, what that means is that in a very short period of time, probably sometime next week, if not Monday, there's going to be an announcement with all of this year's current entries into the Grand Prix. So for us, or for you, actually, for me, it's a little more work. But I don't know how many years now we've had this annual Grand Prix picks, and in the Grand Prix picks, you pick there are three phases to it, three parts. The first part is when they announce what they now call the nominated. They used to call it the pre-selected, and the person who has the most pre-selected watches first uh, wins a watch, a free watch. Then the next prize is for, and probably the most important one, is for the person who actually gets the most wins. In other words, say, I think this watch is going to win, and boom. And whoever gets the most on that gets that. And the final one is the which watch is wins the Aiguille d'Or, which is the golden hand. They have their prize that looks like this, and instead of anyway, never mind. Uh, so anyway, if you in the past, if you've been part of that, go to the Facebook page called the Grand Prix Picks, and I'll have an announcement on that on High Horology Lounge. And once things get rolling, then you can put in your picks. Now, the way it works is this: is that once you enter, that's it. You can't re-enter. You can't change your mind, even if a watch drops out for some reason. That's it. And I'll put that on a spreadsheet, and you'll be officially entered, and that's that. Okay, so it's not a good idea to wait to the last minute, because if you have a perfect hit with everything, and somebody else has exactly the same thing, but they were ahead of you, they win. So it's the first come first win. But don't do take your time. This is going to take a. I mean, like when I say take your time, take a look at these. I think what I'll do is keep it anybody from making their entries for about a week or so after they have the announcement. That'll give people plenty of time to look at them and think about them and so forth. And then they can start making their choices. And every year we have some incredible ones. One year I got them all right on the first one. That was just the ones who made to the pre-selected. Last year I did terrible. So it's all of us. Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. And so don't feel that you don't know anything about watches. And so you shouldn't enter it. I mean, like, there's no entry fee or anything else, and it's a good way to learn about watches, because in making those choices, you got to go through all of the watches and find out as much as you can about them. Okay, that's the first announcement. The second announcement is the Watch Time show in New York. Uh, I don't know why, but it's taken them a long time to get around to basically releasing the tickets. Now, this is for like October 22nd or sometime like that. So you got some time. There's there are three different tickets. There's a Friday night one, which includes a party, and it's great. If you can go to that, that's fantastic. All of us have a chance to have too much to drink and and talk a lot. Also, too, you get a chance to talk to all of the watchmakers and so forth. And so there seems to be a pretty good bunch and some interesting ones. One of the most interesting ones that I've never seen at this is a Leroy. They were bought by Festina, and it was sort of like, I thought, oh boy, Festina is going to pull them out of this, and they sort of just started doing dumb stuff. And so I was sort of disappointed to see that, but especially since I had at the time, I had a El Leroy watch, which was big hunk, beautifully designed watch, and I found out that they dumped an ETA 7001 in it. Here they had this big watch with a little tiny movement. Boy, I was mad, still mad at that. So I traded it for a Christian Vanderclaw. That'll teach him. I don't know, but they're really a very interesting company, among others, Terry Boot-Lana, a whole bunch of them. Okay, so let's see. You got, hi, you see Refugee Republic. Oh, hi, from the UK. Lucian, John, hi. Layu Market Shopping, hello. From Ethiopia, welcome. Hi, guys. What's that? Hey, Thomas, how are you? Geezer, Daniel, I hope to win. How are you? Thomas, again, Richard, from cool Seattle. Man, I tell you, from cool Seattle, man, I tell you, if I was looking at the temperatures in Seattle, they were having record. I thought it was bad out here in New England, but the heat wave went away about 2 or 3 days ago, and it's been rain ever since. We're more like Seattle in Seattle right now. Hey, Geezer, what am I on the TPG saga? We're going to talk about that in a second. DGB, how are you? Some sunny UK. Flippin' Zippo, hi. No, you're not that late, Zippo. Hey, Shaver Ray. Joe, hi, Joe. Okay, Junior, hi, Junior. Okay, no. All right. Here we are. Okay, so the main thing we're going to talk about today is sort of the disappearance of the timepiece gentleman. There's been a lot of stuff. When I first heard about it, that was when I put out that little video about begging to get screwed. And so let's talk about that. And my answer is to most of these things is gaining knowledge. I know that sounds like, that's really boring. What should I spend my time gaining knowledge? And the main reason is I think two things. One is that you can enjoy a watch collection a lot more. And second of all, you can not get screwed as much. And also, you can find better deals because you know what deals look like. If you have little or no knowledge, you go out and buy some dumb watch. So what I wanted to do is to talk about this. I want to start off with a story, okay? This happened to me years ago, and why I'm probably more alarmed by this kind of stuff than some others might be. After I published my little thing, not everyone, but a number of people thought, you're jumping the gun on this, and give it time. And it's really, I think we're going to be surprised, and we're going to find something that's good coming out of this. I don't see how that's possible, but it's, anything's possible. Hi, Alexander. and Lucian, how are you? Okay, here's what happened to me. This is a long time ago, so I'm going to getting over it. I'd written some books back in the early 80s, and I happened to hit the right topic at the right time. And suddenly my book was selling in the $1 million range. And I had a whole bunch of money and stuff, and went out and bought a new Mercedes and did all kinds of other stuff like that. And I had a thing to be a visiting scholar at Cambridge University over in England. So I thought, okay, great, I'll go there. And then, but I got a ticket around the world, so we went to England for my, I don't know, scholarship, I guess. It wasn't a scholarship. It was more like a visiting scholar. I think it's what they called it. Anyway, so we were there for what is called a term. It was Lent term. And I didn't affiliate with a college at the time, but most of the stuff that the guys that I was doing stuff with at the Institute of Criminology there were at Darwin College. And so I spent some time there. Anyway, had a great time. It was a wonderful experience. And then I had to, after Lent term, instead of staying around for Easter term and going back later, I wanted to get going because I wanted to get back again. So anyway, I had a lecture I had to give at Heidelberg. So we went to Heidelberg, and then we went to Hitherjan and went around the world and came home. Now, I had about $250,000 in royalties owed me. So I went there and checked my bank account because I'd given them the how to deposit it, and it was nothing. So like, what's going on? So what I did is that I called them and said, what happened? Oh, I said, we're having a little trouble right now. Okay, we got some stuff we got to get worked out. And I said, well, where's my dough? Well, we're in a little thing right now. Okay. Now, here's the thing that I decided I better do. A bunch of guys who were, there was one guy, I think he was owed $500,000 or something. He was some physicist out in Michigan. So he got this lawyer, and a bunch of other people did too. And somehow they thought I was supposed to represent them all as sort of the book guy. So all right. So I go to this meetings and so forth. But the first thing I did before all of this, before it got any worse, I went up there and I said, look, guys, you owe me this. So why don't you do this? We'll just pay off. I'll put it on a weekly basis. And so they gave me a bunch of checks. I said, okay, I think each one. So they're going to pay me back $8,000 a week. And I had all of these checks for that. Well, after cashing 2 of them, they said, don't cash anymore. We're going broke. Well, I'll make a long story short. They took the money that they owed me and a lot of other authors and bought the best lawyers they could get in LA. And at the time, I sort of figured, okay, what's the outcome of this? I could get a lawyer, but you can't get blood from a rock. So what I did was I probably ended up better than anybody else in terms of getting something. And then they went bankrupt. And I think, I knew that was going to happen. There was they just were too hot and stuff. They were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They also had they were making software, and then they made some videos. This was back when they had them on tape, and it's, they were trying all kinds of stuff. And so anyway, that experience, I thought, whoa, this is crazy. So, but I, so to speak, I learned my lesson. And as soon as I saw this thing with the timepiece gentleman, I had seen a couple of things. The guys who had it, seemed to be didn't seem to be, watch people in some respects. They were sort of more of, I don't know, sort of jive marketers, I'll put it that way. And they, they had all these deals going and so on and so forth. And so suddenly they get up and there's this, here you have an empty store. And a lot of people say, "Wow, you're jumping to conclusions." Okay, maybe I am. If I had a watch with them, or I'd plunked down 1 or 2 thousand bucks, I forgot for what it was to help them build their $2 million store in Dallas, right? A brick and mortar store in Dallas. Okay, sort of dubious in my opinion, but maybe that was what they wanted to do. We're going to build a brick and mortar place. Here we're doing all of our work online. That's why we need a brick and mortar place. So this whole thing has been one that is like, okay, learn your lesson. Right? Now, as far as consignment is concerned, um, I am in the middle of my first consignment. It's really an auction thing. It's not a consignment. It's an auction. And what I did, I got this watch, this Daniel Roth Metropolitan, uh, through an auction. And I generally don't recommend buying through auctions for this reason. You rarely get a great deal. Okay, whatever you get the watch for, and I got it for, I mean, what they call a hammer price, which you finally bid on it. It cost me about a couple $1,000s over that by the time they converted from Swiss francs to dollars. And they did this and they did that, and but I wouldn't, So but it worked out well, and I got the watch I wanted. And the only time I would recommend an auction is when you can find a really low price, that something's under the radar that you want, and that's the only place you can find it. Okay. Um, so that's the thing. So I thought, well, everything worked out. Now this is with Sotheby's, and so I had a watch that I'm selling, so I sent it to Sotheby's. Okay, they had this big, long, involved process that I had to go through before they accepted it and then sent it and everything else. And it was pretty much of a class act. And so I sent it there, and I haven't heard back from them ever since I sent it. So maybe, some guy is in Pago with my watch, and I get this stuck. Um, okay, so that was one thing. Now this is another one I just got. This one I got on eBay, and what I did was that the guy that I got it from sent it to an evaluator who was going to guarantee it was a real thing. Now I don't know how many guys can tell a Jacquet Droz with a Jacquet 736 movement in it, from an apple cart. But the guy sent it on and everything. It was beautiful. This watch was one of those watches where you get a good deal, and then once it arrives, you look at it and it looks like a brand new watch. So that was a good thing. So here you have two things. Maybe it was a really crummy watch. It was a knockoff. It was this or that. And the evaluator would have caught it, or authenticator, I guess, sent it back to the guy and say, no deal, I'd get my money back. Now, here's what they have here going, and why I'm concerned about it. You've got these guys who had spent, I think it was 1 or 2 thousand bucks a pop to get into this, some kind of special executive suite. Keys to the executive bathroom is by putting money toward this $2 million store. And so they're concerned if they were going to get their money back by getting good deals. Okay, that would be a concern. A bigger concern, though, would be with the watches that I sent. I wouldn't want to send them a watch. Now, I haven't heard back from Sotheby's on that Vacheron Constantin I sent them, and I know that the auction is next month, so I'm not too concerned. They're getting everything ready and so forth. If not, then I'll go after them. Tooth and nail. All right, but I don't think that's going to happen because they have a good reputation. I have experience with them, so forth. Now, let's take a look at what happened to this so-called timepiece gentleman. All right, a lot of people are saying, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about because we don't have enough information." Yeah, we do. We have information, and this is the information that we've got. First of all, they disappeared. No forwarding address, no nothing. Second of all, they have a lot of loot. Now, if they sent back the watches that they have on consignment, this might be what we'll call a normal going out of business. The third option is that this is a publicity stunt, and these guys are a bunch of hot shots, and they're going to do a marketing thing, and everyone is going to be, saying Hail Marys about them. We'll see. And if it is, I would, and I had a watch with it, I'd get it out of there as quick as I could. I don't think that kind of thing is a move for that. Now, they had a lawyer, and the lawyer, you get a lawyer in Dallas, Texas, and you expect a good old boy. Hook 'em horns, that kind of lawyer. But this guy sounded like the guy that gives me these robocalls. Hello, my name is Daniel, and sounds like he's from Timbuktu or something. And that was what the lawyer sort of reminded me of. And he's saying, oh, everything's fine. Well, the lawyers that I dealt with in LA were very similar. Everything's going to be fine. And if you just cooperate and calm down, everyone's going to get paid and so forth. How can you argue with that? So I think I see a lot of that going on. Is that, let's just keep the lid on this thing. The next thing you know, these guys are going to show up in Venezuela, Maracaibo, something like that. I don't know. But not too long ago, just last year before last, something around then, there was this place in Switzerland that I had done business with. I think they were called Time of Switzerland. Some of you guys may remember better. But basically what happened was that I get these letters, and a lot of other people got them too. An email said, "Oh, well, I'm in jail right now, but don't because my family did it." Well, I understand family squabbles, but we're gonna throw this guy in jail. There's something else going on. Well, anyway, they sort of seem to have stumbled into obscurity. The problem was with them was that they wanted you to wire them the money. Now, I had dealt with them before and got one of the best deals on the best watches that I owned from them. And so I had a pretty good opinion of them, and I had wired them the money, and they sent me the watch that was everything I could want. It was a brand new H. Moser Henry double hairspring. I got it for a song. I mean, the price on the thing was great. The watch has been a dream. So you have that, and then you think, well, next time, it'll be good too. Well, sometimes, it goes one at a time. So that's an important thing to think about. And I've seen a lot of other videos that other guys have done. I saw one the other day by Federico, and he didn't think that it was going to end too well. And some other ones have, and others are saying, oh, wait, I know better than that. Okay. So I've talked a lot. So let's hear what you have to say. Let me go back to these. I've been, what do you got here? Okay. Let's see what you have to say. Hi, Rick. Perhaps I'm lucky or careful, but thus far I've had no bad experiences buying or selling watches. Buy the seller first. Rick, that's funny. Same experience with me. I have what's something that the thing, God looks after fools and Englishmen who go out in the noonday sun. I think somebody sent me an angel to worry about it. I've been very fortunate that way, and I come close, but haven't sort of fell over. But there's really a combination of things, Rick. I think one, you gotta learn stuff. You have to learn a lot, as much as you can. Knowledge is like a armor plate that will help protect you. It doesn't always work, but more so than going out there, dropping your pants at a pervert convention. If you have no knowledge, they're gonna stick it to you. You don't want that. Okay, yeah, and Rick, I agree too. Luck plays a part in the whole thing too. Okay, hey CHF, how you doing? How are things in Brazil? I thought you were in Switzerland. Hello to Brazil. Love Brazil. Um, okay, let's see. Too many hidden costs with auctions. Geezer. Actually, there's only one hidden cost that I know of. And that is that they have like a 25% premium. I hate that term. They have a 25% charge or gouge, whatever you want to call it. So if you buy something for 4,000, they're 25% of 4,000, 1,000, so you pay 5,000. Okay. But then there was this little more thing that they had sort of a just because premium. Still don't understand it, but it wasn't that much, so I didn't worry about it. Then there's a shipping charge. Then there's the conversion charge. In my case, it was from Swiss francs to dollars. Cost me on every level and so forth. Still ended up with a good deal, but nothing near what they call the hammer price. Okay, the hammer I got was right on my head with all these extra charges. But I think you should only use an auction if you really want to watch, or you can afford this and that. It's the only place you can find it sometimes. But also too, I still think auctions are good if you go in knowingly ahead. So Geezer, I agree, there are a lot of hidden costs, but the more you know about it, the less they're hidden. Hey, Flippin, was that the horn of Gondor? I don't know. I don't know Gondor. Let's see. Hey, let's see who's saying hello there. Okay, we got stuff. Auction process takes forever. Rick, you're right. That's very true. Hey, Eddie, how you doing? Oh, you're in Austria. Hey, did you get a chance to see Richard and Marie? I hope so. Let's see. Hey, Tommy. Let's see. The watch world is full of those trying to take advantage of the current trends. Listen. They get no holiday. They take advantage of every trend. In a seller's market, though, this is the thing. If you have a bunch of watches on consignment and you have a stock to sell, now's the time to sell them. I mean, it's like that to me is a time to to be honest. Say, hey, I got this watch, I got this Rolex Submariner, and this is what I have it available for. And you ought to be able to sell that right now. If you can't sell it now, you better get out of the business. Something else. He was drunk to match. Andre, who was drunk? Somebody, I guess you guys know. Okay, they have a teaser on the YouTube channel, Scandal Revealed, for July 6th at 6:30. Okay, all right, we'll see. Maybe these guys are saying, ha ha ha, this is really a joke, or this is a way to get more publicity. Oh, we'll see. There's the thing too, is that one of the things, companies going under, they want to delay as long as possible so they can get their Via and Maracaibo set up. I don't know. Selling watches correctly, or any kind of business correctly, is a lot of work. When I was a professor, I'd start a business and different things. Only was doing stuff with software and publishing and so forth, and they were successful, but they were a lot of work. They were a huge amount of work, and so I'd sell them and go back to being a professor. So I know that there's the idea that here you have these devices that people pay thousands of dollars for. And so you talk about, like, for example, an auction, someone says, okay, a 25% markup. A 25% markup on anything is not bad. But when you're talking about something that's thousands of dollars or tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands, 25% a lot of money. And so I think a lot of these guys sort of figure, man, this is a great way to make money. But well, we'll see, we'll see. Um, Daniel Kaz, how are you? Uh, how do I argue by yelling? Yeah, that's what I do. Yell, get my go to. No, um, I don't know. It's really funny. You gotta like when I went out to get mine, is that I think if you have something like, for example, if I had a consignment with these guys, be doing everything right now to get my watch back. Period. Um, the so that's about. I mean, as far as you can do, but there's a point. I mean, yelling doesn't help. It's my wife uses it effectively, but that's about it. Mirko, how you doing? Try to imagine how it is in high art world. Newer, less. I think this people from TPG make a big mistake. This is a generous move, a genius move. Maybe so. The art world is as crooked as a dog's hind leg, by the way. There's a great book by, God, what's the guy's name? I forgot his name, but it's called Fake. And it's about this forger who was really good art forger called Emir Dahori. And the thing about it is that was so interesting is that the biggest crooks aren't the guys doing the phony art. They're the guys who are the authenticators who know it's phony and say, oh, this is a real thing. And then they can sell it and make a big bump themselves. I mean, there's like, there are all kinds of ways to get over on this stuff. And the ones that they usually get over on are the ones who are the least knowledgeable. Someone with a lot of money and a little information is in deep trouble in business, in watch collection, and an art collection. Okay, flipping lawyers in Texas. Oh, okay. Let's see what flipping Zippos has. We got. Let's see. Hey, Caven, your channel is the antidote. I'm not like. So be careful. Thank you. Itherus. Okay, thanks, guys. A Jaguar E-Type in British Racing Green versus a gold wrapped Lambo. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. You can get man, the kinds of stuff that these guys were tooling around in, something like that. Hey, Watch Monkey, I'm on the fence with them. These guys aren't rocket scientists. And one of the two things happened, a very bad publicity stunt, or they ran into some serious financial problems. What I think is they ran into financial problems, okay? It's like there are too many. I mean, it's sort of like doing a tap dance in a room full of mouse traps, even in the best of times. Guys who are, even if they know business and stuff, that's very much that. Oh my God, I've gone on. Okay, let's see. I got to wrap this up. It's frying pan time. Thanks, Rancher. Um, okay. Well, listen, guys. One, I hope none of you have any watches on consignment with these guys, whether they're an honest bunch of guys and everyone will get their watches back and all of this will be revealed, or this is some kind of publicity stunt. We'll find out. If it's a publicity stunt, I think it's a very wrong one. That's my opinion of it. We'll see how this works out. Okay, well, listen, thank you all for coming. Now, this afternoon in a live stream, I'm going to be talking about something entirely different, okay? And I think I really want to get your opinion on it, okay? Because this is a new watch project. And it's one I think that is more doable. The last one we had, we ran into problems because, well, I was trying to really get people, trying to make commitment, but the prices were a little too high. And I think I got an idea for another one that is, I think everyone will like, and it'll work out a lot better for us. And this is to get a collector's watch that for collectors that is really a solid watch in the most basic fundamental ways. Let's talk about that this afternoon. Thank you all for coming. I love your ideas that you had. And until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection. Take care.